Do I have to get on my knees for this one? I want to see what are the pieces that I need to get this beauty going. Jeez, man, you got a lot of gear here. Sam, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Thanks for having the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We're in trouble because we keep on telling people it's very easy to make beer, and then you guys got all this stuff here. I'm a little intimidated. And should I be?
No, not at all. It's really easy. You know, we're just the next step in making the best beer that you can.
Is it possible for people that know fairly almost nothing about making beer? Is this graduation time for us?
Yeah, so it actually requires very little knowledge. As soon as you learn how to do it in the basic way, it's very easy. And then you can start getting as much or as little complicated as you like.
Why one vessel? Because if I want to upgrade, I see out there for about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, I see these 3 pots and all kinds of pipes and pumps and things going. But you guys just got one vessel.
A lot of these multi-tier systems and multi-pot systems, you still have to go to each dial and manually adjust the temperature and manually switch on pumps and all that sort of stuff. And what we've tried to do here is through developing your recipe online on the free recipe developer, it then sends that recipe to your grainfather equipment and it will walk through as much of the process as safely possible.
Is that cheating now? Because am I still making the beer then?
You are still hands-on in making the beer in itself. You are still creating the recipe. You are still there on the day. You're just able to sit back and have maybe a few more beers.
So how much do I make with this then?
So this is a 30-litre system, so you're making between 23 and 25 litres. We've got here our conical fermenter, currently shown here with the Wi-Fi controller on there, so that you can control your temperatures and everything from your phone at home, or if you go on holiday, you're not having to worry too much about changing your temperature up and down depending upon what you need.
So with the Wi-Fi control, I can change temperature up and down?
Yes.
It's not just for chilling?
No, not just for chilling. Our conical fermenters have a built-in heater in them for raising the temperature, and then we've got our glycol chiller here, which then controls the cooling side, and the glycol chiller can handle up to 4 different fermenters. So
just about 100 litres of beer?
Yep. That'll sort you out for a weekend, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that copper, but what are we talking about?
So, yep, this is the guy for making all your spirit delights. So this is an alembic dome that fits on top of the grainfather for distilling.
And here's where the disclaimer comes. It's highly illegal to do this in Canada and the US. We didn't encourage you to do this. The Cowboys are not saying you have to go and do it, but if your vehicle needs any fuel with all the taxes that's happening out in our neck of the woods, this is one way how you can solve your carbon footprint problem, is by diverting some of your beer towards your vehicle. Do you guys make it easy for us to get everything together? So in case we want to start with something basic? No? Okay, so what's in here?
So there's all your grains that you need, all the hops you need, the yeast, there's also the fining agents in there, everything besides water that you need from the brewing process.
Where do these ingredients come from?
Most of these ones are New Zealand ingredients, so the malts are mostly from Gladfield Malt down in the South Island. The hops, this one uses primarily American hop. The yeast is from our sister company, Mangrove Jacks.
You just have to add your water.
Yeah.
Make it. So this one is a black IPA all grain kit. The idea really is you don't have to go fish for ingredients. If you really get stuck and you want to start basic, you have a box full of goodies for us that we can get brewing.
Yep.
It's not in Canada and the US yet. Cowboys got a plan for that, but that's off the record. Do I have to get on my knees for this one? I want to see what are the pieces that I need to get this beauty going.
No, so all of it can be done pretty much from a standing position. We wanted to design it so that you're not having to get down on your hands and knees to look at a screen on the bottom. That's why the screen is up on here. Everything can be controlled from pretty much just a movement position from slight bend over, and even better with the app control, you can actually do it from full standing.
That's pretty neat because it has a safety factor to it as well, because we are dealing with hot liquids here.
Inside you've got your glass lid, you've got the grain basket, telescopic style design, and then rests on a safety ring around the outside there. Inside, at the moment, I've just got the bottom mash plate. We wanted to make it as easy to sort of take apart and clean as possible. That's why we didn't weld this to the bottom of the grain basket or anything. So we take the bottom grain plate here, our overflow pipe, and it just assembles just with a nut and screw. Easy. And then we've got your telescopic overflow pipe here. So when this is in the grain basket, you can easily adjust this up and down to the level of your grain. In the grain basket, your grains go in between here. It keeps your grains nice and together, evenly dispersed. The perforation on the top plate spreads that water across the whole surface area of the grains so that the water can get to every part of this grain that's in here, making sure that you can extract all of those sugars and get as much alcohol out of that as you can. Put this back into the position that it's gonna be in there. And then we've got our recirculation pipe. So this connects here through our safety valve. So it's a ball and spring check valve, just so that if you have ball lock open and you hit the pump, hot wort isn't gonna squirt up and hit you in the face. Something like that, just
little things make a big difference.
Little things, yeah.
There's another thing that's that's a little filter down there. So that's the hop filter.
Yep, the hop filter. Tried to design this so that it comes apart easy for cleaning. So we've tried to make it as modular as possible so that the pump can be replaced, the controller can be replaced, most of the components can be replaced. Yep.
This is an electric brew.
Yes.
Which is some of the big challenges you've got with the other buckets. They use propane or they use gas, natural gas, and the challenge with that is even more safety concerns. Is there enough power in this? Even up in North America where you run 110 volt?
Yes, we've gone through and we've done a lot of testing on the boil with the 110 volt system to ensure you're getting enough of a vigorous boil to get rid of your DMS. That you're still getting those melanoidin reactions happening in the boil. The fact that it just takes a little bit longer is kind of the nature of it, but at the same time you're able to do this inside in your kitchen and your garage.
First step, brewing, what is that?
We're going to heat some water, about 60 to 65 degrees centigrade, which I believe is around about 140 Fahrenheit off the top of my head. That temperature of water is the prime temperature of water to help when we add the grains to get the starch in those grains to convert into fermentable sugars.
So get the right temperature, because your controller is going to do that for us.
Yes.
Then we're going to put our grains in.
Yes, so that's the mashing process.
That's porridge.
Yep, porridge, or I like to think of it like steeping tea. You're getting the flavors and the sugars out of the grains like you would out of tea or something like that. Once that mashing has completed, so we've got all of the fermentable sugars converted from the starch, we're then going to raise this grain basket up into the sparge position. We're then effectively going to wash those grains with fresh hot water, and that's just extracting those sugars out and getting all of that sugary water into the bottom of the boiler here.
Sparging means I'm washing the grains so I get even more of that really nice goodies into my worts that I'm busy building here.
Yes.
What happens after that?
Then we're just removing this whole part completely.
Now we got our soup here.
Yep, we've got our soup. Now we're then bringing it to the boil. And that's primarily to sterilize it. We're also going to, once it's boiling, start adding our hops. The hops then add the bitterness due to the length of time that they're in the boil. They're also going to start adding some flavor from the hops in there, getting your hoppy beers coming through. That boil time takes an hour.
That's a good thing about beer, is you can have beer while making beer. Yeah. Cheers, man. Thank you for having the Cowboys. Sam, what are we drinking, man?
This is a Summit Blonde Ale that I did a couple of weeks back. Just what happened to be on tap this week. So, no, cheers.
So the timing to get this to a boil, how many beers does it take?
It depends where you come from.
Once we have our boil done, we'll need to cool it down.
Yep.
So that the yeast is happy with the temperature they're going to swim in.
Yep, you're starting to move into that fermentation step. So we've got here our counterflow chiller that works in a one-step transfer and cooling system. So we're then transferring from this boiler into our fermenter while it's being cooled. You connect this blue hose here up to your water tap. It's connected here to your recirculation pipe. The grainfather will then pump the hot wort into the glycol chiller while cold water is flowing in the opposite direction. And that acts as a heat exchange, taking the heat out of the wort and into the water, so that when your wort comes out this end into your fermenter, it's nice and cool.
Nice cold water.
Yep.
This is hot water, so make sure the kids are out of the way.
Yep, out of the way, and that just goes straight into your sink.
I want to just ask the question, because you got such a really nice, beautiful pump jobby going on there. Is it hard to clean that pump?
No, so we've designed it to be, almost clean in place. We only recommend that you take apart the pump housing every 10 to 15 brews, just to make sure that there's no matter in there. But otherwise, just by recirculating hot cleaning solution through the system is enough to keep it clean.
So it's actually pretty simple. I want to ask you where things go wrong, where you figured out that people screw this up.
Yeah, so through a lot of it is just forgetting what the next step is.
There's four steps.
Yep.
That's why you build the controller for the thing?
Exactly, yep. In traditional systems, you would start your timer and you'll get distracted by something else, and then you get to the end of your boil and you're like, oh no, I've now forgot to add half my hops.
Or I don't know how long I've boiled it. So
Yeah,
you're going to be
or-
either under bitter or over bitter.
Yeah.
Because those time and temperature are the two things that ultimately influence flavor in your wort.
Yep.
I'm out of beer, bud. I'm out of beer.
Refill.
Time for refill. I'm so glad you walked us through how to use your beautiful grainfather. Here's the takeaway for the Cowboys about this one is it's a lot simpler than we thought.
Yeah.
But you guys have hacked the brewing system, because you've taken something that's actually quite a simple instrument and you've added some precision with software and with a little bit of programming, and you've given people like us that want to start brewing all grain some precision with fairly inexpensive equipment to get brewing some beer with grain, not necessarily having to use some extract or some concentrated wort. So that's awesome.
That's the way that we wanted it to be. We just wanted to, help people do the all grain system as simply and as intuitively as possible.
Now, we have one waiting for us there at the back, but when people want to get the grainfather, how easy is it to buy it?
It's very easy. We've got the online store, which is available in most countries for shipping. Otherwise, your local homebrew store, support them.
I think you can buy them on Amazon as well.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can get them on Amazon if you're in North America. You can get them at your homebrew stores. If you don't know where to get one, ask your local home brewer. He'll know.
Yeah, yep.
For sure. Good. Make more beer.
Yep, make more beer.
Cheers. Do you mind
Yeah.
filling up?
Yeah,
Yeah. Would you do that for me, please? Thank you so much.